Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this time in the day when you get to pause for a moment, for as long as you can. I'll be here for about 40 minutes to do some stretching, some breathing, a little bit of simple practice that will help you feel like yourself for the rest of your day, no matter what time of the day it might be right now and how much the rest of your day constitutes. I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I'm the owner of Riverflow Yoga. I'm the creator of this practice, which I call Blissful Warrior. Your time to pause, to remember what it feels like, to feel good in your body, to feel like yourself as you go forward in your life. I've been practicing and teaching yoga for, coming on 50 years now. And I have to say that it's been a beautiful experience, and I'm really pleased to be able to share it with you, as I've been doing every day here since the beginning of this pandemic. You know, it's almost become as if I counted in my mind the other day. I think this is probably coming around 250 sessions that we've done, and it almost feels like these sessions are like a little history of the pandemic, where we started out very agitated back in March as things were so confusing, and I feel like at this point we've sort of settled in to this idea that life is going to be different than we thought it was going to be, and yet we do have some measure of control over it. I don't know if you've been here every day since we started these classes in March, or if this is your first class, but I do notice for myself and for others who've been joining me, there does seem to be a really beautiful cumulative effect, and that effect can only be described as coming home to yourself. Things might or might not have gotten better or worse, outside conditions and conditions in your life outside of this body since this pandemic began, since we started our practice together. But I hope that what you're feeling is a little taste of how much control you actually have over the conditions inside your body, inside your mind, inside your emotional stability. Your ability to calm this feeling of anxiety and overwhelm, which is mostly about not knowing, worries about how you're going to manage things that may or may not have already happened. So as we stop here in the middle of the day and pause to actually experience what it's like to be in the present moment, those kinds of worries about the future seem to at least get put on hold, giving us a little vacation from it, a little break from this spinning around in our minds about things that may or may not ever come to pass. I'm not saying there aren't things to be concerned about, certainly maybe now more than ever in your life. So many conditions changing outside of us, having to do with health and politics and finances. I mean, just about every subject, I think, has been touched upon as a place that's been an upheaval, a feeling of upheaval in the lives of millions and millions of people around this country and globally. And yet, one thing remains constant. This ability to manage what's going on inside of you has always been part of who you are, and is easy for you to practice, to get good at, to develop some skill with, and then to be able to call upon it whenever you're feeling the outside agitation in your life. So, without further discussion about it, let's get to it. Have some water beside you, because we start this Blissful Warrior practice by drinking water. Seems like a very small thing, but it has a very profound effect on your nervous system. So reach for your water and let's have a few sips together. You know, for myself, I find that once I start taking a few sips of water, I almost don't want to stop. The feeling is so profoundly quieting. So go ahead and drink as much as you'd like. Let's put that aside. And so here we are in the present moment. Sounds a little obvious, but think about how often you are actually not in the present moment. Again, thoughts race ahead. to situations or conditions that you may or may not ever have to manage, but they weigh heavily on your mind and in your heart. So right now, just have the experience of being present by arranging your body in a way that feels comforting to you. If you'd like to sit on the ground, I'm sitting here in half lotus position. You can try cross-legged. I always recommend having a cushion under your butt so that you can slide to the far front edge of that cushion and let your knees and your hips relax in a sort of downward pulling position. Bring your ribs in, settle your hands. Palms in your lap, palms facing up, palms on your knees, palms facing up or down. If you'd rather sit on a chair, please do. Let me emphasize again that in this practice, there's no absolute right or wrong way. There are options that you get to try on to see what feels good for you in this present moment. So if you'd like to sit in a chair, choose a comfortable one. Lean back against the back of that chair. Just as if you're sitting on the ground, lean back a little bit into your hips. And if you'd like to lie down, as I was just doing before we came to this practice, and I can tell you that lying down in the middle of the day for as long or as short an amount of time as you can give yourself can be one of the most blissfully centering things that you can do for yourself. I know, and I'm the same way. There are times when you think, I don't have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute to lie down. But you can think that thought and give yourself the time to do it anyway. I promise you, you do have those minutes in the day and you deserve them. So if now is the time when you can lie down, lie on your back. Let your legs come out ahead of you. Let your arms rest comfortably at your sides, but not too close in. As your arms move further from your body, they'll feel more relaxed. Your legs are out in front of you. Let your heels touch inward and let your feet and knees and hips flop outward. And breathe. So we're going to be deliberately breathing. Let's find a place to focus your eyes, keeping the eyes open. If you're lying on your back, shift your gaze from the ceiling to down the midline of your body. Feel a little bit of a stretch in your neck. It's a nice feeling. If you're sitting in a chair or on a couch or on the floor on a cushion, just look at something in front of you. Focus on something that's pleasant to look at, and look at that object or the wall out of the tops of your eyes more so than the centers of your eyes, so you have a little bit of that chin drop again. Feel as if you're resting your head back a little bit on top of your neck, avoiding the chin thrust that most of us just habitually have. It's just an old stress habit. So settle your head on top of your neck. Keep your gaze steady and soft, looking out of the tops of your eyes. Settle into this present moment, into the body that you have right now. Feel what a beautiful place of home this body can be as it allows your mind and your emotional state and your nervous system to take respite in this body. Just take a moment to appreciate how comforted you can be in your own body. Now let's move into some breathing, some deliberate breathing, because of course you've been breathing this whole time, but deliberately breathing to again have the full experience of breath in the body and to feel the appreciation for how much calm, how much stability and grounding deliberately breathing can offer you at any time. And right now, this is the time. So we will be breathing in and out through the nose, hearing the breath resounding with a loud ha sound in the back of your throat, both on the inhale and the exhale, but keeping the mouth closed and checking in on various little adjustments that we can make to settle yourself in your body as the breath filters through. Let's begin. Inhale. pulling your collarbones wide open, letting your ribs expand wide to the sides like an accordion, checking that you're still gazing softly out of the tops of your eyes with your chin down a little bit, feeling yourself in this fullness of breath, holding here. And now exhale. That same loud ha sound in your throat. Collarbones are still wide open. Let your rib cage move inward, moving towards the midline of your body like that accordion coming together. And then feel that your breath is empty. And feel how comforting it feels to stay in this pause, this empty place, as you drop your tailbone down and then tuck it slightly up towards your navel. Feeling the lift in your chest. Inhale. Collarbones wide, gaze is soft out of the tops of your eyes, your ribs spreading open like an accordion, making that beautiful wide feeling. Your arms are relaxed, your elbow tips drop, your palms face up. And exhale. The sound can be like an ocean wave in the back of your throat, and then that wave comes through you on the exhale. Ribs together, emptying, dropping your tailbone down, and then undulating it a little towards the navel, noticing that lets you lean back a little more. Inhale. Sometimes you think you're at the top of your inhale and there's no more breath you can take, and yet you can. A little more. Collarbones stay wide, ribs wide open. Exhale. Ribs come together. Again, feeling like you're playing an accordion, bringing the sides in. Tailbone down, slightly up towards the navel. Inhale. As you hold here, it's not so much a holding of the breath, but a more expanded feeling in the ribs, especially across the collarbones. Exhale. Feeling this wave of breath flowing through you, coming to a close down in the belly, tailbone down, and slightly up towards the navel. Staying in this still place between this exhale and the next inhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. Exhale. Leaning back, dropping your tailbone, and tuck it slightly up towards the navel. Just staying here in this quiet space. And then breathing normally again. Now taking a moment to check in on this present moment and to notice how you feel. Notice if something feels softer or quieter inside of you. On that emotional scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very chill and 10 being very agitated, where have you landed in this present moment? Just noticing, trying not to judge it, trying not to explain it to yourself, trying not to validate it. Notice if you're trying to figure out why you are where you are. It really doesn't matter. The awareness is what brings you into the present moment. And in the present moment, this is where all of your power is, to affect your experience from here forward. Isn't that nice to know that just being here is already a win? So let's reach out for another few sips of water, and we'll move into some stretching. Nice to notice, even after these sips of water, how you feel. Okay, so we're going to do some yoga poses. Now, this is what most people think of when they think of yoga, the movement. And there is a great sense of satisfaction and comfort in moving your body. But if you don't feel like doing that today, if you've been here for the breathing and the settling in and the drinking of water and just noticing the present moment, you too have done yoga, and you have done a great deal for calming and healing your nervous system, which controls all the internal functions of your body, and that is the full definition of health. So you have done a great service for yourself in pausing, in caring enough about yourself to give yourself this moment to return to a feeling like yourself. And if you'd like to join me now for some stretching, you are more than welcome. So we're going to be standing up today and stretching. If you were lying on the ground for the arrival practice, roll over onto your side and press yourself up into a seated position here with us. And we're going to come to a standing position. Of course, if you were sitting on a chair or on a couch, it's very easy to just have your feet on the ground and stand up. But if you're here on the ground with me, I'll show you a way to come to standing. Hopefully you will enjoy. Before I stand, let me adjust my camera. All right. So if you were on a cushion, just move the cushion out from under you. I'll slide back a little bit. Let's just take a moment to put the legs out in front of us and place your palms on your knees and bounce your legs a little. Whenever you've had your legs folded under you, this is a beautiful way to just get the blood flow and all the fluids in your legs to flow evenly again. Keep the bounce really light, as if your legs are on a trampoline. Try not to be slamming the legs. Nice bounce and stop. You can even notice after bouncing the body a little bit, the body feels a little lighter, a little springiness. Okay, so coming to a standing position. First we'll come onto all fours. You know, in fact, while we're on all fours, let's take a moment to do a pose called cat-cow, which is a really nice pose for just getting your spine to feel nice and slinky. So, hands are 6 inches apart, wrists are directly under your shoulders. Separate your knees so they line up behind your wrists. And stay here right now in a tabletop position by locking your arms at the elbows and rotating the elbows inward. Keep your gaze in front of you out of the tops of your eyes, shoulders away from your ears. Suck your stomach in a little bit and just feel your stability right here. Feels very light to be held up by your biceps. And now exhale your breath and drop your chin to your throat. Really tuck the chin in, keep the elbows locked. Inhale, lift your chin, neck, face, chest, drop your belly to the ground, stretch your tailbone towards the ceiling, and then feel as if the tailbone is undulating back upon itself, reaching for the back of your head, keeping your elbows locked. Your breath is in. Exhale, drop your chin, Wedge it between your collarbones. Suck your stomach in. Round your middle back to the ceiling. Inhale, chin, neck, face. Looking at the wall in front of you out of the tops of your eyes. Stop there. Belly drops. Stretch the tailbone to the ceiling. And then curl it backwards towards the back of your head, all the while keeping your elbows locked and rotated in. And exhale, drop your chin, round your middle back, suck your stomach in, keeping your elbows locked. And inhale, chin, neck, face. Stop when your eyes are looking out of the tops of your eyes. Drop your belly and stretch your tailbone. Keep your elbows locked and rotated in. And exhale. Drop your chin. Round your middle back. Suck your stomach in. And then inhale back to tabletop position. Keeping your elbows locked. Let's take a moment of rest here in child's pose. Bring your knees together. Place your fingertips on the ground beside your knees. Sit your hips to your heels. Lower your body to your thighs and your forehead to the mat. Let your arms rest at your sides. Child's pose. Inhale. And exhale. Letting your shoulders slump. Keep your elbow tips bent. Forehead to the mat. Coming out of the pose, place your fingertips on the ground beside your knees. Pull your elbow tips towards your hips. Hang your head. Lightly pressing into your fingertips with your head hanging. Stack your spine. Let your head come up last and rest on top of your spine. And then just take a moment here. Palms in your lap. Chin down. Collarbones wide. Inhale. And exhale. Notice after every pose, stopping to breathe allows you to feel this great sense of stability and comfort in your own body. Maybe it's been a while since you felt that your body could be a place of comfort for you. Enjoy it. All right, so we're going to come up to a standing pose. So bring your fingertips out in front of you and drop your chin to your throat. Come forward on your knees and push back onto your heels, pressing with your fingertips. And maybe the soles are flat and the heels are touching the ground, and maybe they're not. But let your head come between your shoulders. Lock your elbows. And then walk your hands towards your toes. Hang your head. Slowly begin to come up, stacking your spine as if it's a big giant slinky. And you're placing one coil on top of the other. Your arms are hanging limp, as is your head. You are stacking the coils in your spine. Keeping it slow. Slow movement is deep healing. And let your head come on top last. And then bring yourself right back here, standing position. Standing Shavasana. Arms at your sides, collarbones wide, toes and heels are together. So we're going to take these poses to feel the stability that you've created, that you've remembered in your body in the standing poses. Inhale. Hearing the sound in your throat, collarbones pulled wide. Chin is dropped a little, your eyes are open, your gaze is looking forward out of the tops of your eyes. And exhale. Loud haas out at the back of your throat. Your rib cage moves towards the midline. Thighs are locked and lifted, knees are rotated in. Squeeze together the inner edges of your ankle bones. Can you feel your stability right here now? Inhale. And exhale. This sense of balance that you feel right here, this even balance, this stability that you feel in your body, says something about how stable your nervous system is right now. So if you feel a little shaky or a little off balance, don't worry about it. Just allow your nervous system to settle by standing and breathing, knowing that this is what's happening. You are settling into this place of calm stability. So good for your physical health, so good for your emotional health, draining away your anxiety and stress. So let's play with balance a little bit here, standing on one leg. Trying a pose called Dandayamana Janyushrasana, standing forehead to knee. Lots of options in this pose, and I'm going to talk you through them. Choose the options that feel right for you in this present moment. So, locking your left thigh muscle and lifting it up. Bend your right leg up at the knee. So balanced right here on the left leg, with your knee, your right knee and hip in a straight line, locking the left thigh muscle, locking the left leg. Flex the sole of your right foot. Suck your stomach in. Lift your chest. Round back a little like you have a globe in your arms behind you, chin down. Now as you exhale, swoop forward and make a choice. All 10 fingers 2 inches below the knee, or all 10 fingers on the ball of your right foot and holding right here. Now, if you're holding at the knee, stand up straight. Let the knee fall forward into the net of fingers. And if you're holding on the ball of the foot, let your shoulders shrug. Either choice, the left leg is solid, unbending, really stable. You can really trust this leg to hold you as you feel that left thigh muscle lift up. Now, if you're holding at the knee, just continue to hold here. If you're holding at the ball of the foot, you might want to try kicking forward, leading with the heel, flexing the toes towards your face, kicking out from hip to heel, keeping that left leg like that column of strength under you. And then change. Lower the right leg. Take a moment again, feeling your stability. Toes and heels together, collarbones wide. Chin lowered a little so your gaze is looking out of the tops of your eyes. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's switch sides. So locking the right thigh muscle, it's almost as if you feel like you're lifting this thigh muscle up into your hip. This right leg is steady, stable like a tree trunk. Bend the left leg up at the knee. Flexing the sole of the left foot. Suck your stomach in. Round back a little bit, lifting your chest towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, make your choice. All 10 fingers creating a net 2 inches below the knee, or all 10 fingers creating a net on the ball of your left foot. Keep all 10 fingers in the net wherever you're holding. If you're holding at the knee, stand up straight and lock your standing leg. If you're holding on the ball of the left foot, shrug your shoulders and lock that standing column leg. And breathe here. Just feeling your stability. And if you fall out of a pose, it's no problem. No judgments, no worries. If you're holding on the ball of the foot and you feel stable in that right leg, you might try kicking, leading forward with the heel and flexing the toes towards your face. Keep that column of stability under you and that right leg locked solid, and then change. Left leg down. Take a breath. Inhale. moving into tree pose. So once again, locking the left thigh muscle, feeling the stability of this tree trunk, this limb of a leg, really solid. Bending the right leg up at the knee. Slide your right hand down your shin to the top of your right foot. Reach under the right foot with the left hand and allow this right knee to drop. Now, if you have a bad knee or there's any pain here in the twisting of this right knee, place your right sole inside your left thigh. Otherwise, you can lift the heel up into the hip crease. Dropping the right knee, holding on to the foot with the left hand, bring your right hand in half prayer. And here you are, feeling your stability. Inhale. And exhale. And allow this right leg to come down. And now we're going to lock this right thigh muscle and make a tree trunk. A lightning rod, a lamp post out of this right leg, thigh muscle lifted up. Bend the left leg up at the knee. Slide your left hand down your left shin to the top of your left foot as you bring your right hand behind and underneath. Cradling the foot in both hands, drop the left knee. Now again, checking for any pain. Pain is never part of a practice of healing. So if there's any pain in this twisted left knee, you can move the foot right here to the inside of the thigh, the inside of the knee, could even be the inside of the ankle. But if there's no pain, you can bend the elbows and raise the heel into the hip crease as you drop that knee towards the ground, holding the foot. Left hand in half prayer. Stand up straight. Inhale. And exhale. And then release the pose, left leg down. Stand here and recalibrate. Breathe. Inhale. Turn your palms forward with your collarbones wide and your chin dropped a little. And exhale. Now let's come back to the ground. So as you inhale, turn your palms to the wall behind you. And as you exhale, drop your chin to your throat. Beginning to bend forward, uncurling that slinky in your spine. Your arms are limp, hanging forward. Be very mindful of letting one coil of the slinky in your spine open at a time. Tuck your chin to your throat, hanging and opening. When your fingertips touch the ground, stay in your fingertips. Move your fingertips far from your toes. Hang your head between your arms. Bend both knees and place them on the ground between your hands. Uncurl your toes. And sit back, hips to heels. Now once again, sitting hips to heels may not be okay for you today. So just bring your legs out in front of you and place your palms on your knees. Inhale. And exhale. As you feel the stability in your body and the comfort in your body and your breathing, you can sense your nervous system calming. This is a beautiful way to deal with anxiety. We all have some. We all have some worries, some thoughts that go around and around. Sometimes those thoughts don't let us sleep at night. And if that ever happens to you, please come back here. Click on one of these Facebook Lives that are saved right here for you and do this practice. It's not a practice that's designed to make you perfect. It's a practice that's designed to help you remember how much in control you really are of your own nervous system. Inhale. Exhale. It's really amazing and very profound how deeply healing deep breathing is. All right, let's bring the legs out in front. And we'll do a little forward bending. So if your legs were just tucked under you, legs out and bounce. Palms on your knees, allowing your arms to get a little bit of a bounce. Bouncing the knees, alternating them. And bounce, and stop. Now for some separate leg stretching, beautiful forward bending. Bring your right leg out 45 degrees to the side and tuck the sole of the left foot against the inner right thigh. Once again, if this kind of bending of the knee causes any pain, just bring your leg straight out in front of you, coming right out from your hip. And right here, whichever position you've chosen for your legs, just lean back a little bit. Settle both of your hips to the ground. Beautiful way of grounding your nervous system is to settle your body. Flex your right heel forward, flex your right toes towards your face, rotate your right knee a little inward. Feel more and more stable with every move, with every breath. As you inhale, sweep your arms overhead and create a net of fingers, a halo of arms. And then begin to pull that net towards the ceiling and lift yourself up from under the rib cage towards the ceiling, lengthening in your waist. Lean back into your hips. Turn your lifted torso towards your outstretched right leg and exhale, throwing the net of fingers over the ball of your right foot, dropping your forehead to your knee. Bend your knee up if you need to. Make contact between your forehead and your knee. Letting your elbow tips hug your calf muscle, bending down towards the ground, and breathe. And exhale. And then inhale, pull forward a little bit with the net of fingers, coming up. Stacking your spine, flexing your right heel, lift up out of your rib cage and turn your torso towards the center. And keeping that torso lifted, pulling from the net of fingers, squeezing your head with your biceps, alternate the legs. The left leg is 45 degrees to the side. The sole of the right foot is either tucked against the inner left thigh or that leg comes straight out from your hip. Remember to choose the one that feels better. I promise you there's no rewards for pain. There are rewards for being kind to yourself. Stretch, lift, lengthen, flex your left heel, turn your torso towards the left leg, and as you exhale, throw the net of fingers over the ball of your left foot, dropping forehead to knee. Bend your knee if you need to, perfectly fine. Let your elbows hug in towards your calf muscle and drop down towards the ground, forehead to knee. Forward bends are beautiful poses for the end of the day. Just a way to let go of whatever tension, anxiety, stress might have built up during the day, just by breathing and letting go. And now inhale, pull forward on that net, lock your arms beside your ears, flexing your left heel, stacking your spine, and then back to center. Now bring both legs straight out ahead of you. Flex your heels. Flex your toes towards your face, flexing the heels towards the wall in front of you and rotating your knees. Lean back into your hips and lift. Lift up out of your rib cage and try not to thrust your ribs forward, but up towards your head. Lean back into your hips. Separate your hands so your palms are parallel, locking your arms. And as you exhale, come forward with locked arms, reaching out with your first two fingers to hook between your first two toes. Hook on nice and tight. Drop your chin. Keep your eyes focused out of the tops of your eyes, looking straight ahead. And walk backwards on your hips a little bit. settling into both hips, locking your elbows. Inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest, keep your chin down, collarbones wide, arms are locked for now. Flex your heels, and as you exhale, begin to bend your elbow tips and lead your chest forward between your shoulders. Trying to keep the legs straight. If they're bent, no worries. Coming down with your chest on your thighs, lifting your chest forward a little bit to lengthen your spine here. So now your slinky gets a nice long pull. Inhale, lift your chest, drop your chin, collarbones wide. Exhale, move your breastbone between your shoulders, coming forward and down. And changing out of the pose, placing your palms on your feet, coming up, sliding your palms onto your shins, lock your elbows, flex your heels, lean back into your hips, collarbones wide and chin down, and sitting nice and stable. Breathe right here. Inhale. And exhale. It's so important for you to stop and breathe and recognize the control, the stability that you can create, that you can manage in your own body, in your own sense of feeling like yourself. And as you calm down and you feel more stable and you feel grounded, you feel like yourself again. Not necessarily in control of conditions outside of you, but you don't have to be. You're just here managing the conditions inside of you, which you bring out into the world. Inhale and exhale. All right, my friends, let's find a position for the end of class. So maybe you want to sit in a chair. Maybe you'd like to lie down on your back. Maybe you'd like to reach out for that cushion, as I'm about to do, and sit here on the ground, finding a comfortable place for your body to sit on the ground. Take a moment to settle in, kind of scoot around a little bit, nestle in. Find a place for your palms to rest, palms in your lap or on your knees. Lean back a little bit so both hips feel equally grounded. Focus your eyes in front of you, looking out of the tops of your eyes with your collarbones pulling so wide and long, it's like there's one straight long collarbone. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, keeping your mouth closed, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, but hearing it in the back of your throat. Stay here in this empty pause. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And now if you'd like, you can sit and close your eyes for just a moment. Continue breathing. I'm going to leave you with some words from my book called The Blissful Warrior, just as this practice is called. So let's see what we have today. The future lies in embracing our body sense and our feelings, along with our cognitive function, into a way of communicating that is free of blame, free of shoulds, free of judgments and demands, and instead asks, what is my life serving? What makes more life wonderful for me and for everyone? Having a good feeling body and a sense of emotional calm is the place where you begin to make your life more wonderful. Because, my friends, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly fine as you are. You don't come to this practice to get better. You come to this practice to feel how much better you already are, and to enjoy this feeling of being in a body and having this kind of comfort in being alive. Thank you for joining me in this practice today, this opportunity to pause and remember who you are and how good it can feel to be here. I'm Rhonda Uretsky, the owner of Riverflow Yoga, the creator of this practice, Blissful Warrior, where you stop, you pause, you remember how good it feels to be here. I hope to see you again soon. Go out into the rest of your day or evening, or maybe it's the middle of the night for you and you're going back to bed. Wherever you go forth from here, do it with joy as yourself. Thanks, friends. See you soon.